crossing dread. When the oak is shook and the apples red, I'll be ready for the ram's head.
Tu sais que j'ai besoin. J'ai faim, oui j'ai faim de toi. Pas d'autre pour moi.
Hello and welcome to Totally Tell Me, a weekly a bi-weekly, I should say, entertainment review podcast.
Accent on the bi.
Yeah, accent on the bi. We're talking about movies, music, food, and fun. My name is Dominic Mercurio, and I am joined, as always, by Laura Weinbach. Oh my God, Laura! I only am just now realizing this, but oh, there we go. I moved you to the correct position.
Ah.
You were in our guest spot, which is like it actually like totally threw me off. I was like, I have to look over here. I
just noticed. Okay.
Huh?
Well, I just realized I could view the look of the whole video right now on my phone. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it was on a delay.
Oh,
thought,
no, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still on the guest spot, I think.
No, I fixed it.
But
I
not
fixed
anymore.
it. I fixed it so quick. Anyways,
Yeah,
that's
so
Laura
much.
Weinbach who's chit-chatting with me over there. And just below us on the screen is Graham Patzner, our guest for the day. Welcome, Graham.
Thank you so much for having me. I wasn't aware that you guys talk about music and food as well.
You
We
know,
barely ever do.
yeah, it's really just something we say at this point. It's actually like a bold-faced lie that we just sort of keep up.
We used to. It used to start. It's the first episode we ever did was about Pocky flavors.
Yeah, we did one episode about music, food, and fun, or movies, music, food, and fun. I think we covered all that in the first episode and never returned.
What's the
Well, I
best
think we realized that talking about music was not really a good look for us. It's like you don't want to be critiquing, your fellow musicians. It's just not a good look.
Well, but then again, I'm critiquing,
Yeah,
some.
You are
Some films up
critiquing
in
your
here.
fellow people. It's probably not a good look for you, but that's okay.
I simply don't care. That was the thing.
What?
that all these directors that you talk shit about?
Yeah, probably.
Well, the
No,
thing is I only talk shit about the bad ones. So,
Oh, wow.
Hey!
Ooh.
zing.
Burn. That's what you
saying.
call a burn.
Honestly, I don't really
Burn
talk.
notice right
I don't
there.
really talk like too much shit about movies.
No,
I
you
generally like
stuff.
movies, you know.
You generally like stuff.
And if I'm not liking it, like
Me who
most,
talks to shit.
right? I feel like if I really don't like a film, it's more that I understand that it's like not for me, but I still could see. There's very few films where I'm like, oh, this is irredeemable for anyone. You know what I mean? It's like,
I have a recent movie that I feel like was just entirely bad.
oh my god, could I guess?
Yeah.
Is it a 2024 film?
Yeah.
Megalopolis?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay.
I saw that. Was it entirely bad?
Oh boy. We don't have to get into it, but what's the film that you were talking about?
Joker 2.
Which one?
Which one?
Joker 2.
Oh, Joker 2.
Oh, Joker 2.
Interesting.
Didn't see it.
Complete garbage.
You know what? I thought I would have to disagree with you there. I thought it was not a good movie either. I thought it was borderline bad, but I do think it's not as bad as like people were saying.
Or like it's not as bad as like a really bad movie. Like it's done well, it's shot well. But it's sort of appalling that they're just like, let's just make this bad. Like that was their intention, to just make the movie bad. That's how it felt.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't like Lady Gaga. I think she's a bad actor.
mhm.
And the singing it was like, why did you make this musical? It just didn't work.
No, yeah. I mean, look.
It was a
Yeah.
musical? Okay. Well, I just know nothing about it.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
Because I don't care.
there's some
Oh.
musical elements.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
no, I mean it is. They start singing, and it's just like, what? Are you
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's,
No, that's cool. I mean, it can be cool when that happens, but
so I like talking shit about movies. Like
Yeah.
I'm a hater, and I think it's not really a good quality. But
I mean, I was talking about this with my brother the other night, and it is kind of messed up to talk any kind of shit about movies because the fact is that making a movie is really hard, as you know, and just completing the task of making any kind of movie is sort of an achievement, and
yeah,
to have it be in a theater is a big deal. So, shout outs to the people who do that sort of thing, even if it's bad.
yeah, exactly.
Or even if I think it's bad, because it's like probably way more than I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Complete miracle when a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Then you have
really
these
it
movies
is a
like-
miraculous task because you're bringing all these forces together that have to cooperate with each other, and the idea that like there are so many different cooks in the kitchen and hands in the pot of what it means to make a movie. It's like how does it work? It's crazy. There's just so many opinions at play here.
I mean, yeah, it is a ridiculous house of cards to put together a film, and so yes, I think even like a bad film still has something like redeeming to it. But look, I mean, we're not here to like be the most
About the merits of filmmaking.
No, I mean, look, like we can have opinions. Everybody
We're
has
here
opinions.
to talk shit.
We're here,
So let's talk some shit.
right?
Well, what do you think? Yeah, let's talk some shit. Hey,
Let's talk some shit, bro.
What is the worst movie?
Want to talk
though?
some shit? Call me.
It's the worst movie. Yeah. I just watched that.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched that recently. Yeah.
Oh, good.
The worst. What's the worst movie? See, it's such a hard question because it's like, I feel like at a certain point a movie can sometimes be so bad that it's good. So like, is that not the worst?
Right.
Because I feel like The Room could, like, you could make an argument that that's one of the worst movies made, but
enjoyable to
it has so much entertainment value. So it's like, what is bad at a certain point, you know?
Right, exactly. Well, that's why I kind of felt like Joker felt just not enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
like,
think bad is just when it's so boring that you don't even care
yeah, that's
at
kind of
all.
That to me is the worst. That's the worst kind of movie.
Which there's probably a lot of those out there that just
There's
don't
so
even
many of those.
get talked about because no one cares.
Right. Weird Artifacts said, I did not see this movie. Let me just say it up front. Let me just reiterate, too, that we won't even talk about the movie for another probably 30, 40 minutes. And when we do, we're still going to keep it spoiler-free. So for anyone watching or listening who hasn't seen Nosferatu, don't you even worry. Don't you even worry. We'll keep it all on the up and up, okay? And also, someone asked if I had a cold, which I feel
Bryce,
like
what's up, Bryce?
maybe
Bryce
we should
is hell.
just Bryce as hell said Dom has a cold or something now. Totally tell me I'm wrong. Well, look,
Totally telling you, you are not wrong.
you are not wrong. I got a cold. You are so perceptive. You're really tuned in.
How does he know that you have a cold?
Oh, I sound stuffed up. I feel like, you
I
know,
thought you were gonna be like, I sound stoked.
I sound fucking stoked right now to be here.
I'm so stoked to have this cold, dude. It's fucking so tight right now. Fuck.
I feel like
My sinuses are on blast right now. Fucking.
Look at that.
I like the face that you're kind of doing. You're kind of going like, ugh.
Dude, fucking and shit. Fucking oh shit.
Graham, I feel like me and you, like, we don't chat so much, so I feel like you might not know what my normal voice is like, sounds like, you know, perhaps. Like, maybe this is, you're like, oh yeah, I think that's what Dominic sounds like, but, you know.
That's not what you sound like. We
But
can tell.
this just
we can
ain't.
tell.
This just ain't.
People know when you have a cold. It's a thing.
You look good as hell.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I'm also
What's up,
sipping some
Jeff?
tea. That's another.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I'm
I just-
tea right now.
Well, fuck. Graham, we barely even talked about you. So, Graham, if you don't know, is an Oakland-based multi-instrumentalist who's also the frontman of Whiskerman, who, you know, if you haven't seen live, I mean, well, there's actually a pretty good opportunity to do so coming right up here. Graham, do you want to, you know, tell us a little bit about Whiskerman, your band?
Well, I mean, first things first. You know, we're stoked to do the show with Laura's band, Foxtails Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
And Dominic's band
My
too.
brother Anton.
That's right. I'll be back there. I hide in the shadows, but I am indeed
There
on
as well.
stage.
Wait, what show? Tell the people.
At the Independent.
When will that be?
Friday, January 31st.
Oh damn! What city would that be in?
San Francisco.
Oh damn! You
by
do
the
not
bay.
say.
One of the most beautiful cities in the world. I mean,
Truly.
once you get in there, you get the golden glow of those street corners and the way the sun sets on
It's a
that.
magic place.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Wait, so you're
Bob
saying that
Roseman-
your band, Whiskerman, is playing with our band, Foxtails Brigade,
That's right.
and another band called Swiss?
And Swiss, which is my dear homie Jules Delicato is in that band.
And my dear homie Christine is in that band.
I don't know anybody else in the band, but I do know Jules. Or maybe I do. Who knows? But yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful night. It's gonna
It's
be
gonna pop off.
gonna be a hell of fun.
I'm very excited for that. Yeah.
You're doing an album release, which I'm excited about.
I seriously hope
I might
it
do
works out.
yeah. Maybe I'll do a surprise drop.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I've been sitting on a record for like this entire year. It's been done for a year.
Oh, that's
It's-
really cool.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah,
is
why
it on
not?
your chair right now?
Yeah, I'm sitting on it. Yep.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Is it broke
You
or
warm?
what? Is it nice and is it cozy as a little hot little chestnut by the fire?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Yeah, it's broken. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Unfortunately, it's broken. I won't be
It's
releasing
broken,
it.
and it will continue to be broken. I mean, you know, it's releasing a record. You're doing it on your own. I'm assuming, right? Like, you guys aren't.
Oh, are we putting it out ourselves? Yes, at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 I mean, it's just you know, it's kind of a daunting task.
Yeah, It is. It is. But
So
you
many
know, someone's got to do it.
ways to release music,
It is. It is.
and I want to do it. I want to do it in like a way that I feel really proud of, like all the content that we put out. You know, so I'm like, without any money, being able to just put out content that I actually really like. You know, and like because I'm like a film snob and I talk hella shit about movies. Like I can't release something that just sucks.
Hell yeah. Exactly.
I mean, like the visual components, you know, like I want to, you know,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
some people are good, you know. It seems like people are just embracing like their album artwork just being like a shot of something on the street. You know, they're just like on their iPhone to make it look shitty. Like, zoom in really close to something on the street, and then put that as your album artwork. Just make it kind of shitty on purpose. You know, people are kind of doing that.
Yeah.
Which is maybe it's like either that or you make or AI does something that looks even worse and fake. Like, but I don't want to do either of those roads. I want to do something that's just like I just want to be a refined bitch about it.
What about a close-up
good.
picture of your face?
Yeah,
I feel like that's
something
big.
people
That's
do.
big.
that's big. I think that might be the album cover.
That's been big for a long time.
That's just iconically always a thing, you know. But you know,
Yeah.
but it can still be done well. It's just like you really got to work for it at this point, I think.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do just a face, just a plain old face on the face of that record. Now, if people were here during the the waiting hours of Totally Tell Me, you were hearing a song by Whiskerman called Ram's Head. What's up with that song, Graham?
Oh, I like that song. It's a good song.
Did you hear it?
I've heard it before.
I had heard that one, yeah, but
That's a good one.
So the original version of that song is on our first record.
Oh, so this is a different version.
So this is the updated version. It's a new version.
Oh, okay, okay.
That was the first time that it's been presented to the public.
exclusive.
It was
Oh, that was the first time this new version's been presented to the public.
yeah.
We need one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
buttons, like those little.
So that was a little bit of a premiere just then.
Right, exactly. I need to get a soundboard. I can't believe I haven't done that yet, but
Yeah.
you know, nevertheless, go on.
Always you can always do better.
Right.
So the song, you know, it started off as kind of just like a folk, like violin song. And it's evolved when Charles joined the band. He plays sitar, and so he does the riff. That there's like a couple riffs that are in the song, and it just changed into this kind of like bigger, more rockin' thing, and it became like a staple of our live shows. Like it's the one song that like
It's pretty epic.
yeah, it always kind of crushes live. So we just went to record it in the studio. We just did it all live, pretty much. I mean, it's on that thing. I think I just redid my vocals, and everything else is completely live.
So the
Nice.
original version that's out is not a live recording.
The original version is the original version was it's just different. It's way different. Like the feel of it is way different. It's not like it's not as rocking. New one like bigger and more anthemic in a way. The other one was I don't know if you listen to it. It's just we recorded that to tape, which was also kind of live in a way. Our first record was recorded to tape at a place called the Creamery with Greg Ashley.
I've been there. I've recorded there before.
Yeah, and Greg is kind of a legend. He's like a saint, actually, in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
Recording. He only records onto
Interesting.
1-inch tape.
Yeah.
It was really funny. Like my friend's band, Marty O'Reilly, an old still orchestra. They were like, they wanted to record their first record, and they liked the way our first record sounded. And they went to go record with Greg Ashley, and then they're like, I get a text from them. They're like, hey, did he use any other mics for you guys? Because all he's got is 58s and 57s on everything.
That can actually sound really good, though.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no, he didn't.
He did not use any other mics.
I don't think he did. I mean, I was like very new to recording, and I was kind of in the more punk, you know, like let's just get it down. And I like what he's putting down. So you know, I think at the end of the day, it's really about the performance and the vibe. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mics can go a long way. Yeah, you can always sound better, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he definitely had a. If you listen to some of his records, Greg Ashley's records, they're really cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really interesting artist.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Totally. We recorded there with him for Laura and Anton project a long time ago, and I don't think that I was ready to record on tape at that point. Honestly.
Oh, really?
Well, I just think that I didn't get the best performances, you know. But
Recording on tape is hard.
but later on, I would say this though, that our most listened to recordings that we have were recorded with SM57s.
Well, there you have it.
I know. I think that was the same thing for the Marty O'Reilly band as well. Their first record was the one. And like all 58s and 57s.
But hey, that can actually, yeah, it could sound really good. Just depends.
I've never been able to make a 57 sound good.
Really? Oh wow.
I mean, I used to. That was all I was using in the beginning. You need
Our-
a cloud lifter.
yeah.
You need a cloud lifter for that thing, right?
A cloud lifter? I don't think so. What, you mean like a plus
make it-
48? What?
To,
or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah. To make it louder.
Like phantom power?
There's like a pedal that's called a cloud lifter, or
Oh.
it's called
I don't know.
the cloud lifter that you can use for ribbon mics and you use it for
Well-
57. I think some of the audio nerds that are listening are probably.
This is nerdy. This is nerdy as hell up in here. A cloud lifter? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. well, all I know is I don't have one, so.
Yeah. Nor do I. I mean, I wish I could lift some clouds. That'd be pretty cool.
I got
Sounds
this mic.
magical.
This mic is. I like this mic.
What is that?
It's a Bach 195.
This is my SM. This is SM57 right here. by
Large
the way.
diaphragm condenser mic.
So that one's made by Bach?
That's a
Or
condenser.
what?
Yeah, but yeah, Bach, Johann.
Yeah. The Bach. I mean, come on.
The.
Come on. Do you think I don't know Bach?
The thing that's really sad is
Well,
I
you know
go
me,
on
so.
a tangent talking about Bach, like this brand of Bach, for too long, and I really don't want to do that right now at all.
Yeah.
They were bought by Universal Audio, which they're releasing these really great mics. You know, we're not doing that.
How's the holidays for both of y'all?
Oh yeah,
Oh, good.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
I mean, here we are
Right.
at the end of the year, you know?
You tell us. How was yours?
well, we missed having Laura and the family you know, with us for the holidays.
Just me, not Anton or not your brother or
And
my
the
son.
family.
Oh.
Are you? Because normally, are you guys doing a Christmas thing together?
Well,
like
we
before
did
you?
Christmas together last year.
Right. Because
Well, you guys kind of go like 1 year on, 1 year off, or is it?
Okay.
Well, now we are, but that was the first year that we actually did Christmas on Christmas Day with you guys, which was nice. I mean, I really enjoyed it, but yeah, I gotta switch off now, I think, because you know my family doesn't get to see us like most of the year. So.
Well, what if you did like Christmas Eve with us, and then you went down?
It's just really hard to do that, because then we're driving on Christmas Day. You know what I mean?
I know it's kind of whack, right?
Yeah, it's just basically you just have to choose. And then what happens is that so last year when we did Christmas with you guys, we just came down to LA the day after. And my family like waited to celebrate Christmas till we got down there.
Kind of
So
cute.
it was pretty adorable.
Unfathomably adorable.
It was so adorable that my brothers like got a Christmas tree. I guess one could call it adorable, but it's like whatever. They got a Christmas tree without me for the first time, I think, ever. Where they had to be responsible for the Christmas tree.
Oh, like
You
you
guys
had no say in it.
It's
Yeah.
not that I had no say, but it's just usually I'm like kind of spearheading that.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Is there? Does it visibly look different? Like, what do you feel like you're adding to
Yeah.
that conversation up in here? Symmetry,
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, all of it.
just everything.
General aesthetic pleasantries.
Uh-huh.
No.
So
No, they
is
did
it
an
just a
alright
bust
job.
or what? Or okay.
No, it was good. It was very good. Honestly, it's all a bust at this point. Like this year, we put the tree together, and then we had these candy canes from like the 90s or 80s even that we've had for Christmases pass. They keep accumulating, and I put some of them on the Christmas tree, and these are at least 15, 20 years old, probably older than that.
Oh boy.
And Ethan just kept wanting to eat all of them. He was like trying to eat them, and it didn't occur to me that that's actually really gross.
I wonder. Yeah, like I feel like would it even taste
like-
minty? Do you think at a certain point?
Well, I don't know, but there's probably like microbes and crap like that on them. I mean, these things are kept in a rat-infested attic.
Oh.
And they pretty much just are sugar. And I feel like most candy canes, like they got that plastic wrapping, but it's not like a secure plastic wrapping.
It's not
you
like,
know?
yeah, it's not secure.
Like any little chump
It ain't
can
no airtight.
worm their way into that, you know?
Oh, there could definitely be a thing that worms its way up into that.
Yeah, yeah. Lord knows where candy cane's been if it's been in an attic for 15 years.
Yeah, but Anton is very sort of just like, oh, it's fine about it.
Uh-huh.
And
Then
so
again-
I'm just kind of like, oh, whatever.
Somehow kids, they just kind of like survive the
They survive the plague.
the nastiest shit, you know?
Well, I mean, there's actually something to be said about them being exposed to germs.
No, I know, yeah. It's
Is
just
there anything
shocking.
to be said about them exposing themselves?
Oh my god.
Hey, whoa!
I'm joking.
I wasn't going there. I wasn't. Let it be known. I didn't go.
We have to go somewhere here. Come on.
I feel like there's a lot of other places we could go. You're like, if we're not going to push the boundaries.
Go back to Christmas. Can we go back to Christmas?
Sure. Talk about Christmas. How
Yeah,
did
go
it
on, go on, yeah.
I learned this year that I am a Christmas whore. I love Christmas, actually.
You're a Christmas whore.
Yeah.
Okay. Say more on that.
Whore. What is it, babe? Christmas whore?
Mm-hmm. Have you been
Yeah, what we were talking about before we came on was that so at our family, so my family is like a huge family. My mom is from a family of 11 kids, so we get together
That's
every
so crazy.
Christmas Eve, and it's like a big old. Now it's become like an event. It's like a full.
Huge.
It's a show.
It is a show. They put on a whole music show and stuff.
So we put on a show, and I told my dad that I wanted to do a cover of "This Christmas," which is the Donny Hathaway song. You know that one? This Christmas, my side is buzzing bright. And
I
don't know.
heard it because I
got
didn't
it. My dad
practice
actually wrote an arrangement for the whole thing for 2 trombones and a violin.
Wow.
And me on keys.
Wow.
The funniest thing is that my girlfriend said that I was singing the song in my sleep.
Oh my God, really?
well, that's kind of creepy,
That is
actually.
so funny.
I would be deeply
I
concerned.
guess you guys all do stuff in your sleep. You know, Anton does stuff in his sleep sometimes too.
Dude,
Sometimes he'll wake up and he'll be like, no,
I'm like-
the demon's right there.
this
is demon.
somnambulist. I love when well, we're not there yet, but they did say somnambulist. And
They did, yeah. I know.
They said what?
Somnambulist.
What is that?
It's a sleepwalker.
It means a sleepwalker, yeah. But I love the name Somnambulist.
Yeah, it's a great metal band.
Mm.
I knew a somnambulist who was on tour. He was a drummer, and he woke up on tour in somebody else's house, and he was sleepwalking and put his drum set together
Really?
in his sleep and started playing.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
It's
kind of.
It's really crazy. I feel like people think these sorts of things that happen when people are sleepwalking are like, you know, fake or like made up or like that they're exaggerated in the movies or something. But then like you hear about these crazy things that people will do in their sleep when they're sleepwalking, and it's just like, I mean, movies can't even make up some of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they're taking it from life.
Well, I suppose so, yeah. But wait, so Anton just straight up says like there's a demon in the corner?
He'll do crazy shit like that, and it
'Cause
freaks me the fuck out. 'Cause I'm
that-
like, what demon? What is in this room right now?
He really says that there's a demon in the corner.
That's so specific.
All right. Maybe he didn't say the word demon, but stuff like that. Stuff like that. He'll be like, what is that? Right there. What is that? And I'm like, what? He's like, right there. There's that ghost or whatever. He'll be like saying that there's something in the room, and he's not actually awake. And I'm just like, oh, you're sleeping. But then it does freak me out a little bit.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
hardcore.
I'm just like, what is he seeing right now?
When I was a little kid, I was on a like an overnight trip to Yosemite, and my mom was one of the like the chaperones or whatever. But basically all the kids were kind of, this would have been like 4th or 5th grade or something like that. All the kids kind of like were staying in these little cabins together. We would stay in like groups of 3 or 4. And but I knew my mom was there, and like, you know, I was a little kid, and so I was kind of like, it was nice to know that my mom was like somewhere nearby. But anyways, like we went to bed that night, and I think we were already like telling scary stories, so we were already kind of like in a zone, you know. And then as we were all like going to bed, I had one of our friends that was in their cabin with us. He was Russian, and in the middle of the night, he like sat up, or we were all still awake, like kind of like whisper chatting in the room, but he was asleep. Then he like sat up and then just started like speaking in Russian. And as a kid, like we had never heard him speak Russian, so like this was just like incredibly alarming to us. We were just like, oh my god, like what's happening?
Possessed
Exactly.
by a Russian demon.
That's a full possession.
We totally thought it was like a possession situation.
I will have vodka. Like, what did he say?
Yes,
Just
exactly
out of nowhere.
that.
You never heard him saying any. I could see that being really funny.
It was, I mean, I'm sure it would be very
And
funny.
slightly demonic seeming.
It creeped me the fuck out. It creeped us all out. And then we woke him up, like, cause we were trying to like shake him out of his
like,
possession.
Snap out of it.
Yeah.
Slapping his face back and forth.
English. But ultimately, like, we ran out. What?
Get this Russian man out of his child.
We ran away from.
We ran to where my mom was, because she was in like another nearby cabin. This is
Mom.
Yeah.
Timmy turned into a Russian male. Help.
Exactly.
This is inappropriate.
Exactly. So anyway, she like calmed us down. She was like, "It's okay." He was speaking another language.
That's awesome.
But you know, it really got me good.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
I had a really bad sleep episode when I was on tour with the band, and we were all sleeping in the same room. And apparently I was just going, "Come at me, bro! Come at me!" like over, like.
Oh no!
Come at me, bro.
You trying to start a fight in your sleep?
Wait, no. I want you to tell us about something really interesting, actually. Well, I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't think it's the same thing. Sorry, were you not done with that though, or was that it?
No, that's it.
Okay, you told me one time that you actually did have a very interesting experience with the hag, the like archetypal hag figure that has been known to haunt different.
Yeah, it's always
men and
when
women.
you and I like have these like really intense conversations at the dinner table with my family.
Well, it wasn't that, and it just happened to come up at one point. I was like, "Whoa."
You're the only person that actually cares about those kind of things. Like,
Are you kidding me? That shit is fucking interesting.
It was incredibly interesting, like that what happened on that land, so I was like,
What land was it? Can you tell us first?
yeah, so it was a property in Lake County. There was a grow op going on. I was dating the person that was
A grow op?
You know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. A grow up. So it was in
Marijuana.
Lake County. So it was in sort of
Ever heard of
a rural lakeside kind of mountainous area, right?
Yeah, well, it's Lake County, yeah.
Okay. So this is totally the kind of setting this would happen in.
Mm-hmm.
And just to preface really quick before you carry on, I just want to let people know that this is the tale of the hag, or the legend of the hag, is one that goes back to like every culture. Almost every culture around the world has some version of this woman type figure that appears to basically like attack or kind of suffocate men in their sleep. It's like this female figure that appears to usually men, and she's often seen as like this kind of older haggish woman who is attacking men.
Yeah.
It's a
Whoa.
thing that has a legend, and it's folklore that occurs
like,
across
it
many
wasn't
cultures.
necessarily that there's so many layers to like what happened in this scenario, but
Okay.
I'll do the basic rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just woke up in the middle of the night, and this is like the most common experience, like across many cultures. I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was an old woman sitting on my chest, and
Fucking crazy.
it was super hard to breathe.
Wow.
But the crazy, and it was super hard to breathe. But then, I was okay after that. But
I mean, this old woman, what else, can you describe her more and go into a little bit more detail about
she looked like
what
a
was
hag. You feel me?
Was she bigger? Was she sort of skinny? Did she look angry?
She was like, she was definitely just like, it's really hard to really describe like it. When you think of hag, what do you think?
Like a scrawny-haired, kind of
Like
stringy-haired old
like
lady.
really wrinkly, like
Oh wow.
I know, just very like. It's not that they're angry; they're just like literally carrying the weight of all
Of the ages.
of the ages. Yeah. So it's
Now,
not-
was she smiling? Was she angry? Was she saying anything?
it's almost better that she's not angry and she's not smiling. That's why it's more effective that she's just literally just is the hag.
Well, better in what sense? Better as a tale to tell, or I mean, what actually happened here?
No, it's more effective for my like for her to fuck with me.
It's more effective for
Like,
her
Like
intentions.
it creeped you out more.
It creeps me out that she like kind of didn't give a fuck. She's like, I'm sitting on your chest. I don't.
Really? So she was just like this. I'm sitting on your
Like,
chest,
that's
home.
That's how it be.
That's what she did. Was she looking at you like, yo, I'm sitting on your chest, home. I'm a motherfucking hag up in her.
Oh, I'm about to sit on your chest. You feel me? Hey,
But,
this is
I mean-
how it goes.
But she said nothing. She was just like doing that to her.
Yeah,
Like,
well, no, it was just like
she was just
it's
sitting
really
there.
hard to describe. When you, I mean, I've had visitations with spirits before, so like in different ways. It's a hard thing to sort of.
Well, what happened after she sat on your chest?
You get like you enter into a different domain of
Uh-huh.
like where these spirits are, and you see them, they're there,
Yeah.
but you also know it's not real, but it is. It's weird.
So did you know she was not real, or did she seem real as all hell? As all heck.
Well, the thing that's crazy, the craziest thing is that another person on the property, like the next night, had the same thing happen.
Oh damn! Wow.
Uh-oh,
So-
bad news.
So how did it stop? She was sitting on your chest, you couldn't breathe, and then what?
I just couldn't breathe, and it just stopped. Like it wasn't like there was a full, it wasn't like I had to go through like a bunch of rigmarole to make it.
So
Did she just get up and go, or did she like disappear?
She just disappeared. Yeah, she just kind
Wow.
of vanished. It just vanished because it's not like there was a ghost that came in, and it feels like it's reality, and like we're having, it's like it's a part of our own experience when you have a visitation like that. It's like it's kind
You think it's like from within you?
it's from within, yeah, for sure. I think so, but also these are the questions that they kind of pose in Nosferatu, right? Like, is evil within?
Is it from within or beyond?
Yeah, or beyond?
Well, certainly there are those who would argue that it is not. It's not you. It's like definitely outside of you. But then I guess that harkens back to the, the age-old question: what is you and what is not you? I mean, that's just like a whole philosophy in and of itself. Right? Philosophical rhetoric in and of itself. Like, what is separate from you? But I mean, that
Yeah.
But when we're talking about like you versus me, obviously you are you and I am me, right? In our reality, we are separate entities, right? So I think that there are people who would argue that that was a separate entity from you. But who knows?
Weird Artifacts commented that there's a painting called The Nightmare that's worth looking at. I just pulled it up and I put it up on the screen. If you
How do we see it?
if you go to either Twitch or the YouTube link, you'll see it. Should be up on the screen by now. But have you ever had sleep paralysis before?
No. Well, maybe that's kind of a similar thing, right?
Well,
It's-
yeah, because it sounds a lot like sleep paralysis, which I have had a couple times, And
Yeah.
a very common experience when you have sleep paralysis is a very similar thing that you're talking about, where it very distinctly feels, and sometimes you can actually see it, but even if you don't see it, it's like you feel like there is physically someone on top of you, but not just in like a pressure way. It's like you almost know it's like a person, even if you can't see them. Which is like what I've experienced, where I was laying on like my side, but like facing the wall, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and like very distinctly, it's like, even though I couldn't see them because I couldn't turn, I was like in a sleep paralysis kind of zone. It was like I knew that it was like a person sitting on me, It's like you just like inherently somehow know that it's like a person, even without visually seeing it. But that's like I was fucking freaked out, but I was a lot less freaked out once I like went online and saw that like,
happens to
this
many
is,
people.
yeah, it's like a very common experience for sleep paralysis to like have that.
Yeah, so you're basically probably just saying, exactly what it is. It's sleep paralysis, and just my subconscious makes it into a being.
But the fact that somebody else had the same experience the next night is also sort of
Well, that's
interesting.
creepy, yeah.
So that was where I was like, something else is going on, and
Something else was going
during
on.
this time I was doing a lot of like praying and in like doing a lot of medicine, going to medicine ceremonies, and doing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
kind of Native American prayer stuff, and so also an owl showed up, like a dead, like we picked up an owl that was roadkill and brought it to the property, and then did like a whole ritual with the owl. And
Wow. Was that the night that you had the experience with the hag, or after?
that was after.
Mm.
And I think that I actually kind of, the owl has always been for me. So, the owl comes in, there's a lot of different sim, meanings for the owl.
Mm-hmm.
And the owl can be like
Symbolic of.
death
Mm-hmm.
in some cultures, but then also is like this really strong feminine wisdom also, like Artemis has the owl.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the owl, I don't know if you I don't know, believe or subscribe to spirit animals and stuff like that. I just feel like it's a way to sort of understand our also inherent nature, kind of like
Yeah.
and makes us connected more with Earth when we kind of, we get to recognize that we're also sharing it with these beings, with these creatures that are here.
Absolutely. 100%.
No, totally, yeah. Well, look, should we get to the movie, or go?
Well,
go on,
how
Laura.
was your Christmas?
How was your Christmas? It was good. It was good. I mean, we kind of do like a very small thing. Just me, my parents, and my brother. It's kind of just always been that way. So it was nice. It was just like a chill kind of thing, very contained, very low stakes. I feel like people talk about these like I don't know, kind of more stressful Christmas gatherings where it's like so many people in the family coming together, and like maybe ones that don't get along so well, or but I don't know, I'm kind of in some way thankful that that it's just not really like that at all. So I don't know, it was fine. It was good. I've
good.
I feel like for me, usually like less so about Christmas, but just like as the end of the year rolls around, it kind of becomes the time where you like think about the past year and you think about the next year, and that's been like, I don't know, more what's just been on my mind is like, I don't know, thinking about stuff that happened this year that was good or bad, and then also like movies and music and stuff that I've like experienced, and I always kind of get in a more like retrospective mood around this time, which is been nice. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, good. Very good.
Yeah. And, one of those movies that has been like, I don't know, like if you experience, I feel like everyone shares those like wrap ups or whatever at the beginning of December, and it always kind of drives me crazy.
I don't do that.
I don't do that.
Because I'm not.
Well, look,
proud.
actually, no, I actually do. I do that, but I feel like it eliminates. It eliminates like all of December. I feel like I don't know why like Spotify and like all these kind of companies or whatever they like are doing this whole end of year wrap up at like December 1st. It drives me kind of crazy. But now is more the time that I kind of like think about everything that I've seen, and definitely one of those movies that I was really excited for that I knew was coming out in December was Nosferatu, amongst others. I've kind of actually been like catching up on a lot of movies that I missed, which has been
Just
kind
out
of
of
fun.
curiosity, did you guys watch the movie Heretic?
Not yet,
Yeah.
but I do want to check that out.
I saw it.
Oh, you did. Okay.
What'd you
I
think?
liked it. I liked it. I just, I enjoyed it. It just wasn't. The payoff didn't quite.
Mm.
I'm saying.
Did you watch it, Laura?
What'd you think? Same thing.
I mean, yeah. It was like there was a lot of good build up, and then just for what, sort of a thing. But
Yeah,
I'll say no more. I'll say no more.
Yeah, don't give
Yeah.
me spoilers because I will watch it, and I'm sure people watching might not have seen
That's
it.
kind of how it feels. I think Hugh Grant was dope.
Yeah. But we shouldn't give it. We won't say
Yeah.
any spoilers.
Yeah.
I just
I've been watching a lot of movies this year, so I was hoping that we would talk about some of the other movies that I really loved.
Yeah.
One of my
Okay.
favorites
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Sing Sing.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I
Didn't
haven't
see
seen
that.
yet,
Didn't say it.
but I will see that.
It's an A24 movie about the theater program in prison. And they were, like originally going to make it a documentary, but then they decided that it would be more impactful as a narrative. So then they wrote a script. But then there's like all these former incarcerated people in the movie, and some of them are incredible actors. And like Coleman Domingo is the main actor, and Coleman Domingo is amazing. Like it's my favorite performance I've seen in so long. It's like incredible. He's so good.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's just so human and so like there's just so much love that like pours out of it. I was crying like a lot. It reminded
Wow.
me of seeing when I saw Come On Come On. Have you seen Come On, Come On?
Love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
When
good
I saw
movie.
that movie, I was just like it just swept over me. I felt like that. Like A24 sometimes they just land. Some of the movies that they had. But
Yeah. Cool.
That-
I'm
Hell yeah.
gonna check it out.
I like Sing Sing, The Substance.
You like The Substance?
Loved
I
The
love-
Substance.
Yeah, The Substance.
Loved.
Yeah, you loved it.
Loved. One of
Yeah.
my favorites of the year for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's so fun, and it's just like I love that it just keeps one upping itself.
Could not believe how many times it surpassed my expectations.
Yeah. That's such a rare quality.
Mhm.
They're like they just went there. So it's French. It's French
Mhm.
director.
Yeah.
They understand absurdity.
Yeah. It's French. It's got that French vibe, which I love.
Yeah, which I love. Yeah, it's a great film. And then I did not like Anora.
Didn't see it.
Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
I actually don't even know about that.
Sean
Sean-
Baker.
A Nor?
Sean Baker. I think it's his worst movie, but
I really liked it.
yeah,
Oh wait, is he the one who did like Florida Project and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
a lot of people love it. A lot of people. Yeah, and you really liked it. I mean, it's getting like rave reviews. It just feels. Me, like, it just wasn't that like. I mean, it was fun. I mean, I guess if I didn't know his other movies, maybe I would like it a little more. It just didn't feel. What kind of the narrative felt a little stupid.
Well,
Like he's just chasing. Like they're just like running after this dude, and then that dude ends up at the.
well, let's not say too much about. Let's not say too much about the plot, just in case people haven't seen it, But I agree that it gets repetitive at a certain point.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was flawless. I had some problems with it, but I still like really liked it. I thought it was really good. But
Oh.
yeah.
Can I answer Cooling Prongs' question?
Yes,
What's up,
please do.
dude? By the way, hello.
Say
Chris.
the question first too, though.
Cooling Frog said, Laura has the best lighting. Laura, did a film crew do your lighting? That's a real dramatic and artistic look on the wood.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your
My lighting
observations.
Not my what is my lighting too? Well, I got this door to the bathroom is cracked.
Look at your house looks great, cozy, lovely. I love the upright. Mine is actually interesting. You should comment on my lighting because I actually did get a ring light on this trip because I wanted to shoot some videos, but I only did one. But what you're probably thinking looks good is this really fucking hot overhead. There's a heat lamp in this room. This is the only light in this. I'm actually in a bathroom, by the way, people. This is the bathroom. This is the only.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that.
There's a mop right there. This is the only room in the house that I have actual like any privacy actually at the moment. But
Everybody is there, like your whole family is there.
they're all here and more.
And more.
and anyway,
It's just strangers
there's, like,
showing up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Was this
But,
Mother 2017?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, this is what you think looks dramatic, Chris, is these heat
Are
lamps
you,
over
are you
here.
a Mother fan?
I love that movie.
Oh yeah, we both love it.
Well, I like it a lot. I don't need to watch it again, but I really liked it.
I want to see it again. I only saw it once in theaters, and with
I think I've seen it twice at this point.
Lord, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's good. Very good.
Now
but yeah,
cooling
so,
prongs.
yeah.
Cooling
Anyway,
prongs.
Cooling Prongs. There
now,
we go.
if I could just have your attention, cooling prongs. I would love to take some of the credit here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Oh yeah, Dominic can take some of the credit here.
Because you know what, I do put a filter on Laura. Dare
I
I
actually
dare
saw
I take
the filter,
Oh,
by the way, and I wasn't loving it, but that's fine.
Oh my god, well, we can let the people decide. Okay, look. So here
True.
is filter
yeah.
on Laura, as you've seen her throughout the show. And here is filter off Laura. A little more bland,
as
you know?
good.
A little
Not
more
as good.
flat. A little more meh. You know what I mean?
Let
So-
me see what it looks like again. Hold
So,
up.
so go ahead and, get your
I
votes
see what
in.
you mean about the background looks kind of better, but I don't look better in that particular filter, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
I think.
Okay, well,
Probably
look, I
not.
mean, I think the people have to decide. The people have to discuss,
Right.
you know?
Oh, it does have a
We have
look.
a filter on, and a filter off, and a filter on, and a filter off. Like, so sound off, sound off.
I don't know what's good. I don't know what's good.
Anywho, Weird Artifact says filter rules. There we go. So, just something to think about. Just something to think about.
Okay,
with
Gemma
the,
said it's
production.
better with the filter. All right, you win. Okay, so it's not any of my lighting here. It's all Dominic. He made it all better.
Star, what's up? How's it going? She's in the comments. She says, "Wow, Dominic clocking that tea." That's right. Look, I'm gonna make sure that people know really what's going on here. Oh, okay. Should we get to this movie or what? What do you think?
Yes, sorry.
I am very excited to talk about Nosferatu. Let me go ahead and put the poster up. So Nosferatu is the brand new Robert Eggers film. Robert Eggers, you may know him as the writer and director of The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman. He does a lot of those, but this one broke his cycle of the, and it's simply just Nosferatu, not the Nosferatu, but maybe it's not too late to change it. Who knows? Nosferatu is a remake of the 1922 classic horror film and silent film of the same name, Nosferatu. Just a quick little backstory that I find really interesting about Nosferatu, the original, is that it was a German film, and it is based on Bram
Stoker.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, the novel Dracula, and the film was banned because it was an unofficial take on it. Like, basically they didn't get the rights to the book. They just sort of like made a sort of retelling but with different names movie called Nosferatu. Like, instead of him being called Dracula, his name's Orlok, but like, a lot of similarities to Dracula. So because they didn't get the rights, they were ordered to burn all of the copies of the film. And
But 3 remained, right?
they kept a few, and of course it got preserved over time, and you can still watch it to this day on digital streaming services. But it's kind of crazy that it was like a near miss in a way of
Near-death experience.
it was a near-death experience for Nosferatu. But of course it lives on as sort of like a iconic horror film. Kind of was like the one of the iconic films of like the German expressionist movement as well. And is, of course, there's many retellings of Dracula, but Nosferatu I think is one of the most iconic. It was remade in the 70s, and now here we are in 2024 with Robert Eggers' new take on it. Again, a remake of 1922. If you're just tuning in and you haven't seen Nosferatu, I'll just reiterate that we won't be talking any spoilers about the film at first, and towards the end of our conversation, we will then get into spoilers. So with that little spiel, we like to start with the guest here, and totally tell me. So Graham, what did you think of Nosferatu, Robert Eggers, 2024?
Just right off the bat, I just think it's a fucking home run. It's full on, like, classic, one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And
This version.
yeah, this version, I think so. I mean, I'm a big fan of the. I loved the original when I was younger.
Of the German one?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. I love vampires. I love. There's so many things that I love about the new like take on it too. Seeing it in the theater, like I went with some friends and we sat in the like third row up in front, Grand Lake Theater.
Mm.
And like my girlfriend was fucking screaming. And we were all just laughing, and everybody was laughing in the theater because there's some great moments of like comedy relief, and I just think it's like, and it was a Christmas movie. It was actually a true Christmas movie, and I love that part of it. I think, that like I just think it's shot super well. I have my one issue with the entire movie is some of the CGI elements. But aside from that, it's like one of my favorite movies for sure.
Of note, I just want to say this about the potential CGI. I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but I actually thought this is a pretty cool and interesting fact. And again, it's not really like a spoiler, but there are rats in the film, and those were all real. Like apparently, he used thousands and thousands of real rats in the film.
I thought it looked real. I was like, if there's CGI in this movie, I'm okay with it because it actually looks pretty dang good. I just didn't think.
It's like the shots of there was like a shot of the fucking ocean, and I'm like, damn, this looks like a video game. What the hell are you doing?
Really, I thought it looked pretty good. I don't know.
Why?
But to me, the rats, I thought they could have totally effed up on the rats, but the rats looked so good. I thought, oh, they must have used a handful of real rats and then they just maybe replicated them, but they didn't. They actually, not replicated, I guess duplicated, but like they looked so real that I just was totally fine with it. But it's funny that you're telling me that it's because they are real.
They are real, yeah.
So I was wondering, like, I wonder what parts of this are CGI, because it did seem a little polished at times to be like maybe real, but I also thought it just looked good. It didn't. None of it bothered me.
There was just moments that bothered me a little bit, but that's also
Right on.
I thought Wicked did a really good job. Did you see Wicked?
Mm-mm.
Oh, fucking great.
Oh, okay.
It actually is good.
People tell me it's good. I'll watch it. I'll watch it at some point. Yeah.
Job of kind of like making the whole thing be its own universe, and so the CGI kind of feels seamless within the like. Because they took a lot of time to like do sets and the costumes and everything, so it all kind of works in that. There's a few times in this one that I felt like I was like, oh man, White Land. But doesn't really matter.
Good.
Literally, I love the movie.
Great. Laura, what did you think of Nosferatu 2024?
I also loved it, to be honest. Like, my initial reaction walking out of that movie was I loved it. There were a couple things about it that I didn't love that I thought, okay, yes, I could, if I really want to get picky about stuff. I mean, it's like overall, my whole experience with the movie was that I really loved it, and I really liked the directing, and I liked the cinematography, which was so just top tier to me. I just was blown away by that. Just the whole all of the like the directing of photography and all the movements of the camera and everything just was so well choreographed, I thought. Just that on that plane, but like also just I really liked the way that it was dramatized, you know, like it was a cool interpretation of a timeless classic. Well, it's not timeless, but it's very much set in a specific time. But I think that it was a really cool version of it that was not, you know, it was like refreshing and new, but it was also kind of, I think it really retained the spirit of this tale, you know what I mean, and of this particular story, you know. And I liked the way that it magnified some of the elements, you know, in ways that were creative. And you know, it's funny because who I went to go see it with did not like it at all, like pretty much hated it.
Who?
Anton.
What?
And I'm just like, you are insane.
Why didn't you like it?
He really he thought that the visual elements were cool, but he did not. He just thought the music was terrible, and I was like, terrible? I thought it was like so appropriate, you know.
Dope as fuck. What are you talking about?
And I actually, he's like, well, it was just sound design, and I'm like, it wasn't just sound design. There were some really cool like orchestral.
There was some
What?
there was some tube and throat singing going on in that.
Oh, there was. I thought there was a lot of like good musical elements, and okay, granted, I did walk away thinking like, all right, I can't like remember a melody from anything, but I'm okay with that because it was a mood, you know.
No, it was great. I loved
And
it.
also like there was really cool sound design, I thought, in addition to
Great,
some
yeah,
great
no.
musical moments, you know. And
He was
and
focus on. He was just sitting there tripping.
he was tripping as usual. He doesn't get it, but like I enjoyed it quite a bit. But the one thing I would say that I wish there was more development in a certain area that I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to like give away any spoilers, but just in terms of the storyline and sort of the relationships, there was a certain thing that was missing in this movie that I felt like, okay, you know, that is a big thing to me that not really kind of dive too deep into or to develop or, you know, extract. And maybe this was a very specific choice on the part of you know, the writing and the directing. It very well could have been, but I think that choice may not have been the best choice because I think it would have really given much more like arc and depth to the characters. You know, just engagement with both me as the viewer and with each other had there been a certain development in a certain area.
You can't tell us what that is until
What?
you can't tell us what that is until you can't tell us what that is until later.
Yeah,
Well,
I think we should.
I don't think I should say yet
Yeah.
because it really would be a spoiler to say it. You know what I mean?
we'll,
But,
we'll get to it though. Yeah.
I think it is pretty it's pretty blatant. Like once you know step back and think like, oh yeah, that was one huge difference between this and let's say like I don't know, like the Francis Ford Coppola version, for example. And actually haven't seen the German version, but I imagine, to be honest, like I probably would be bored by the original
You like the
Nosferatu, the silent film. What?
yeah, the silent film now is kind of boring. But,
I mean, I haven't seen it. Of course, I'm familiar with the iconography of it, but
Coppola version.
do I like the Coppola version? Did you ask? I actually do. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I rewatched it recently for some reason. Or I don't know if we were watching it for the show for Totally Tell Me or if I just. Oh, you know what it was? Is this is gonna sound like really bad parenting, but I let Ethan watch it with me. Of course, I closed his eyes on certain parts, but rewatching it, I was like, oh, this is such a. It really is like a theater production. It was like, it was operatic in a very sort of thespian kind of way. That
Coppola is kind of operatic.
yeah, but it was like so different from what I remembered it being like as a kid. It just seemed like a classic scary movie that was good. You know what I mean? And I really liked Winona Ryder in it. And I really like Gary Oldman. And I guess I didn't realize how bad of an actor Keanu Reeves seems to be in that one. But and there are definitely funny comical elements to that movie, you know, that are just over the top and kind of farcical. But like
The score for that one is really good.
yes, and I you know, by and large, I really do enjoy that movie quite a bit. I think it's actually a lot of fun. This one, I think, is a lot of fun in a very different way, you know, and I think it was really good at staying. I thought it was good about being it's a movie that is retelling a story that's been told many times. That in that regard. It's a story that's in a way like you hear the words Dracula or you hear like vampire movie, and to me, I don't inherently think like ooh scary. You know, I think fun. I think that it's going to be maybe interesting, but I don't think I'm going to be like scared. But actually, thought this movie was really good at being kind of scary at times. You know, truly scary. You know, and really being able to do a good job of extracting that feeling.
It was truly scary.
Yeah, and I think that the sound design really helps with that, you know, a lot of times. So I think overall, I thought it was good. I thought a lot of the acting was really good. But there was a couple little things. Like there was towards the end, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but the use of the music in the last, I'd say like 10 minutes, I felt like went in a different direction for me. That was it was pretty different from the way they used the music in the rest of the movie. That I felt was a downgrade. It almost felt like it was becoming like an epic Hollywood blockbuster at that point. The way the music was being used, that I did not like that.
We're a little influenced by Anton Patzner.
I just didn't like the way that the music was being used at the end. I felt like it was too much, but other than that, you know, whatever. Okay, so anyways, Dominic, what did you think?
Yeah. Well, I liked this movie a lot. I liked it a lot.
I had a feeling you weren't gonna love this. Actually, come to think of it.
But well, look, let's start with all the positives, which there are many. Like I like it a lot. So I wanna like coat this all with the good first before I get into my issues. But the good is that, goddamn, the cinematography is insane in this film. The production design is insane in this film. Robert Eggers continues to be like the master, I think, of creating a very lived-in world. Like it does not even feel. It just is like a window into a world. It's like really extremely. Like I mean, it's just like inspiring to like see.
So fluid. It's so fluid the way that he does these shots, you know.
Yeah, and
the way they travel.
He's amazing. His language is fucking so good.
Yeah, and like the city looks incredible. All the interior spaces, all the costumes. Like I mean, just on that front, like on a visual front, this is an absolute feast. It's like just absolutely gorgeous. And I wanted to just say up front too that I just rewatched the original 1922 Nosferatu. I had seen it once like a long time ago, but I rewatched it in preparation for this just like a few nights prior to seeing the this remake. And I was actually also shocked at like how in many ways faithful it is. Like there are many times like exact moments pulled from the 1922, you know, shorter and, you know, obviously much more like quaint film, but like I loved that he in many ways it's quite faithful. Like if you know the original Nosferatu, there are like fun little nods, and there are just kind of like you know, it keeps the structure while of course expanding it in many different ways. So I thought that was kind of it was very interesting to watch them back to back. And yeah, like I think there were sequences in this that I thought were very powerful. Like we'll get into the specifics later, but I found that it built to certain moments that to me like were so effective and were very much affecting me. Like just, you know, I'll just kind of save it, but like overall I really liked it, but I did find a similar issue that I had with his previous film, The Northman, still present here, which is that, and just to like, you know, kind of frame this, like I'm a huge fan of The Witch, and I'm a huge fan of The Lighthouse. I think those two films are like, I don't know if it was like, I'm just getting a little worried that as his budgets grow, I'm wondering, like, is this his intention, or is this like people with the money like telling him, you better make it bigger, faster, stronger, you know what I mean? Because like this thing was so, my main problem with it is just it was like, it's so big the whole time. Like there are so many, it very there's very few just like quiet, like sitting with it kind of moments in the film. And I was just desperate for it. Like I was desperate for like a different kind of energy sometimes to like let us build back up to these huge
Just
crescendos.
more dynamic.
Yeah.
More dynamicism and energy.
I really wanted more dynamic energy in this film.
It felt like it was too in your face all the time.
It was just a lot, like a lot, all the time.
I thought it was dynamic actually in so many ways, and there's moments that I'll talk about once we stop with the.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But no, it's just like my interpretation of it, which was just like, to me, it just felt like my favorite moments were things that they were building to, but it was almost like they were very contained. Like it was like, again, I'll get into specifics later, but it was like the moments that I'm remembering the most just feel like these small, as far as like scope goes, moments in the film. But yeah, to me, I just feel like crescendos feel better when there are lulls, you know, and I needed some more lulls. I was like desperate for them. And I felt like there was so many interesting opportunities to maybe have stretched certain parts of the film out, like that I was really interested in, but it just like, it's moving and moving and moving. And it's just in stark contrast to me to like The Witch, for example, where, and not to like just constantly compare it to The Witch, but I do think it's fair that like in The Witch, you know, like there is this real sense of dread, like because you don't really fully understand like exactly what's going on a lot of the times. Like, what is the witch doing? What is she influencing? What is she not influencing? Like, where is she? Like, you know, there's like a lot of questions. And in Nosferatu, there's very few questions. It's just sort of like more in your face and just kind of like, it's like at its surface, you know what I mean? And so I think I had an issue with that. And I also have some major story issues that are, of course, kind of less Eggers' fault because it's based on a 1922 film. And I had issues with the original story, and I continue to have issues with the remake's story that I still couldn't really like get past in certain ways. Like I think it's a little silly. Like I think the like kind of some of the main things that are going on in the film are like a little silly and kind of like campy. And it's not like it's not to its fault, but I feel like this movie is taking itself so fucking seriously that I'm like,
that's exactly what Anton said.
That I'm like,
I completely disagree with that. I thought the movie knew exactly what it was doing, and it was super fucking funny at moments.
oh yeah, I mean, I think it was intentionally funny at times too, but I think
like,
there was some times where I was thinking it was kind of silly when I don't think it was trying to be silly. But we can get into it.
I'm not sure about that though.
Maybe, yeah.
It's melodrama. I mean, it's operatic.
Operatic for sure, yeah. And he's really good at that. Like, let me reiterate too that I think Eggers is like, this is one of his strong suits, is building to these like operatic crescendos of just like visuals and sound that are like, I think really fucking good. And he's done that in all of his films. But to me, it's just, I prefer it when we can feel the opposite too, so that when he builds up to those, I'm like, you know, just like clutching my seat, you know, which I've done in his previous films where I've been like really extremely tense and invested. And like, if I'm being honest with myself, I just was like not as invested, and I just have very high expectations for him. I think it's also like a me thing where I was so excited for this because I love him so much as a director that while I still really like it, it was just like kind of disappointing as an Eggers film. Sorry.
I'm so sorry you feel that way. Wow.
I'm sorry too. I wanted to love it.
I mean, like because I actually really like The Northman, even though I think that the fucking plot is dumb as hell.
I don't even remember the plot, but I remember liking that movie.
Well, it's just a revenge movie.
Okay.
Oh, it is, right?
Oh, right.
And but the way that he stages these sets, like the way that he goes into these periods and like actually stages these actual and these long shots, like long shots in The Northman where they're following him in and like I just think like he's becoming a master of that. I think the long shots are really where it's at in cinema. I think
Sometimes.
Yeah.
CTA, Martin Scorsese really was the one, like from the beginning, right?
I mean,
know.
there's, yeah, I mean, I don't know who really, I mean, I feel like many,
Scorsese kind of made it like, in Goodfellas kind of made it happen with those like the first shot and then PTA was doing that too. I just think like yeah, actually creating an entire world and then just like living in it for a film, and I think Eggers is doing that.
Mhm.
It's really
Uh,
impressive.
what did you all think of the acting? I feel like we haven't really talked too much about that.
Incredible. Everybody was amazing. I thought.
I mean, I thought it was good, you know. I thought the acting was good. I thought it was not bad, you know. Maybe, I mean, look, I don't want to nitpick here, but I want to get into the gritty. I mean, could it have been better? Maybe in terms of the casting, like, I don't know. I mean, the
Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu is. I thought he nailed it. I loved his.
I thought he was good too. I thought that
Mhm.
Lily Rose Depp was pretty good. No, I thought her acting was good. It's
He had
just
a really hard role.
no, I know for sure. And well, I do think that she was good. I guess it's just, you know, there's certain casts for certain movies that you're just like, this is a home run of a cast, you know, where you're just invested in every single person that is on that screen. You know what I mean? Whereas I would say that in this movie, it was not everybody that I wasn't that interested in everybody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As an actor, like, you know, I mean, the one who plays Thomas or whatever.
Nicholas
No
Holt.
offense, dude. Yeah, I just, you know, but I mean, it's also the character to a degree. It's like he's not supposed to be the hottest character. You know what I mean?
You want him to be hotter.
Well,
about
not
it.
when
Not
by
about
hot. I mean by hot. I mean like I wanted there to be some more dynamic quality to him that made me more intrigued or invested in him as a person. Like there was just something lacking. I felt in that performance. I don't know.
Mm.
But it wasn't that it was bad acting. It wasn't like I'm sitting here on cringing on my seat going, "Oh, this is terrible." You know, it's not like that. It was more just that I wasn't fully, you know, I will say this, like I really love the cast of the Francis Ford Coppola version. Well, with the exception that Keanu Reeves is not very good,
We're really
but like
talking about Keanu Reeves' worst.
no, he is pretty bad in it, but I love all the other
He's kind
characters
of great
in it.
too, right?
What?
He's kind of great though because
He's kind of great. Yeah, it's like but also that character is supposed to be a bit of a doof.
well, that's like the Nicholas Holt character, kind of, right?
That's this. Wait, Nicholas Holt meet the Thomas.
Thomas, yeah, he plays Thomas.
They are the same. They're the same character.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought he did a good job. I
But it's
love
just
that.
like-
I love the gypsy scene. That's so great.
Oh, me too. I loved that. Just the moment that he arrives in that land. It's just such a you're really. I felt so immersed in that whole scene. You know, and just the energy of it and the foreignness of it. You know,
Bill Skarsgård's voice is amazing. I thought he nailed it. It was also like it was so otherworldly, like the way that they depicted.
I liked it too. I mean, and that was another thing that Anton really complained about was he was so monotone.
What?
He thought that the whole vocal performance of Nosferatu.
Oh,
was,
I thought it was beautiful. I mean, it's like he's like basically eating himself with every word. It's like everything is sucking in. He's like he's got a death rattle on every fucking thing that he's doing, and I thought that was really a cool touch to it.
I thought it was about as good as it could have been, but it still is pretty silly to me. And I think there's a part of this where like
I think that's fun though.
it was
It's
fun. It
supposed
was
to
fun.
be over.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be obviously be over the top. You know.
Yeah.
And kind of.
I love that the movie didn't take itself too seriously.
That's so
I
funny.
feel
how-
like it took itself very seriously.
I think it was taking seriously the job of trying to do justice to this story and / tale and world that is a melodramatic world and story. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be subtle. It's like
Well,
supposed to be over the top.
Talk about spoilers yet or no?
I think we could.
I think yeah. Well, is there anything else that we just want to mention before we kind of get into spoilers? Like, is there any I don't know, like did we I don't know. I guess we can just get spoilers if no one else has anything
Yeah,
to say.
I'm ready.
All right,
I'm
so
ready.
If you haven't seen Nosferatu and you care about spoilers, now would be the time to tune out because we are gonna discuss plot stuff, specific scenes, that kind of stuff. If you have seen it or you don't care about spoilers, just keep on a listening, keep on a watching. So with that, the gloves are off. Go on, and go off.
I
Be right back. I'll be back in just a second.
Okay.
All right, I'll wait for him.
Okay.
So anyway,
Oh,
what else is up?
he was kind of showing off some leg there. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, right. He really needs to.
That was a
learn
bit
how
of a
to use
reveal,
camera.
you know.
Oh, you know what it is he's not used to using Zoom
Oh well.
because he doesn't.
Does he think that when he walks away, that the camera goes off? Because, look, whatever.
He just forgot.
I think it's just a fun little Easter egg for people. Look, they're gonna get another little peek right as he scurries on back here.
Not just
Unless
a
he
peek, it's
crawls,
the
you
full
know.
lot.
Now this is gonna be the full frontal.
Oh, well, maybe he's just down though.
Maybe he's just down. Huh?
He's down for that look.
Yeah, no, look. I mean, look. I guess it's coming back. It's just I didn't expect it. Is all. And I would assume the audience might not as well.
Hi.
What's up, Graham? How's it going? Welcome back.
We can't hear you.
So would you guys?
Oh no,
now
we
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you. Now we can.
Yeah. So sorry about that. What's up?
Oh, I was holding off to talk about anything until you came back.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I guess one of my bigger issues with it is that it really didn't develop the romantic storyline between Dracul or Orloff and Lily Rose Depp's character. What's her name again in the movie?
Ellen, I believe.
Ellen. Yeah, it's like that would have been something to really dive into and to develop and to make blossom throughout the course of the movie. Where it was like pretty much he's this hateful, hated character throughout the whole film, and then the only glimpse we get of their kind of dynamic, kind of symbiosis, so to speak, I guess, is at the very end, you know, and that was something that I really like about the Francis Ford Coppola version, which is like it's a love story ultimately, you know what I mean? And it's a tragic story of, you know, this person who has to sacrifice herself. But it's not fully a sacrifice because there is a part of her that like lusts after this dark beast, you know? And I think that there's hints of it in this movie, but we don't really see any real development between her and his character, you know, or transformation of emotional dynamics, you know, and that is something that I feel like is an important part of the story to be told, because it's really what's compelling is, for me in general, one of the most important things about storytelling is emotional growth and development and dynamicism, and when that's not there, it does kind of hollow out a little bit, you know, and it is like, okay, there's these dramatic characters that are like being portrayed on screen that are doing their things, and it's fun to watch, but I think that there is a part of that depth that's lacking for me. So, and as I'm talking about it, I realize like that is pretty important, and I think that's definitely a big thing that I would prefer was there, you know, that is not.
You seem really sad about that.
Well, I mean, because I feel like there's so much growth and arcing in the movie The Witch, for example, which is my favorite movie that came out probably in the last 20 years. I mean, and Robert Eggers is, you know, one of my favorite directors alive. So I probably, if not my favorite. And so, you know, I do have also high expectations, and
I actually just completely disagree, because I think that their love was like, you know, was really
portrayed.
Well, because she's just enraptured by him the entire movie.
Lily Rose Depp?
Orloff?
Yeah.
Enraptured? No.
She's being possessed by him the entire movie.
Possessed in a way that she hates.
Right.
Where she hates him and is fighting it.
Also loves it at times.
I don't feel like we've got enough of the loving it part of it, is what I'm saying.
Oh my God. I was witnessing her loving it a lot.
And also, whenever she loved it, it was like the way that they portrayed her loving it. It was almost like what was loving it was her possessed part of her, where it was like, it was him. You almost feel like it's him that's loving it, not her, you know, because there's a moment where she's like, "Oh, you could never please me the way he pleases me," where she's like having sex with Thomas or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it suddenly turns into her being possessed by Orloff, and or whatever. I'm not
It's Orlok. But...
Orlok, sorry, by Orlok, and
Orloff too. Isn't that's sort of like a?
It's from something else. But anyway, and to me, it wasn't her being in love with Orlok. It was Orlok being in love with Orlok. You know what I mean? Whereas,
yeah, he's the worst fucking person to be in love with.
But the point that I'm trying to say here is that I'm not seeing her as a character, going through actual conflict emotionally. It's like she's fixated on, she wants to basically separate herself from this beast, but she cannot because she, called upon him as a child. But she's also, expressing this infatuation with Thomas or whatever. Like, that she's in love with him.
Definitely the person that she wants to be with, but she is tortured by this being that she doesn't even really know.
And she's tortured by him because he's hurting other people. It's not even like she's tortured by him because she's like lusting after him.
Her body, you can see it all the time. She's convulsing.
Well, yes, her body's convulsing and things like that, but it's not
literally the entire movie.
But there's not the emotional pull.
She's conflicted the entire movie.
She's not. No, she's not. I don't feel. No, she's not.
She's conflicted the entire movie. She knows.
Not emotionally. Not emotionally. I think emotionally, she is very much. She's very much clear about her emotions in her mind. She's like, I don't like him. I like these other people. I want him to go away. And then when she realizes he cannot go away, she's like, okay, I'm gonna hook up with him.
Crying the entire. Like, sure, she knows that and she says that, but like, she's crying the entire time and it's torturing her. You can see it. Like,
well, she's crying because she knows that other people are dying because he's killing them.
That's not why she was crying. She's crying because he's invading her spirit.
Well, sure, but
well,
like,
either way,
I don't.
she's
also.
And
but she's
in their sleep. Like, that's what's
okay. But we don't see her crying because she's like into him. You know what I mean?
She's hella into him. Hot as hell.
She's not into. When is she hella into him?
Wait.
When is she hella into him?
Count Orlok is hot as hell. Is that what you just said? He's hot as hell. Who could resist? Count Orlok.
There is a quality about him that is hotter than Thomas. To be honest,
he's a monster.
He's hotter in the sense that he's much more confident and sure of himself.
Granted, we did get to see.
Okay, now we're talking.
Thomas is a bit of a puss, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Well, sure.
He's not.
I am not
attractive.
I did not even interpret this at all that she was like in love with him as much as she was possessed by him and forced into feeling like lust because he's like in her psyche.
She was forced into it. It wasn't like but her true self doesn't seem to actually like him.
He's death itself, and he's like invading her entire spirit, and she's.
But I guess
there was just no real there was no romance between them.
I guess to Laura.
There wasn't.
Not to.
Well, I mean, but that's the interesting thing. That's the interesting thing is like there could be an actual romance there that is juxtaposing of the fact that he's death itself, and yet this beautiful maiden is, or not maiden, but married woman is in love with this being that encapsulates death. That would be cool. That would be interesting to observe,
Mm-hmm. Well, to Laura's point, and also just something that what is the main thing I wanted to bring up as a negative, but I didn't want to get to it until spoilers, is the main issue I have with the story is also Ellen / Lily Rose Depp's character, and it's slightly similar to what you're saying, Laura, but my biggest issue to me, this part is similar, which is just I felt like she has very little growth in the film, and this is, again, I don't know, is this Eggers' fault? Not really, because it's that is exactly what happens. And if anything, he gave her a lot more to work with than the original. In the original, she is truly just a damsel in distress the entire film. She's just save me, save me, save me. She's just freaking out the whole time. It's very one note.
But in the Francis Ford Coppola version, there's a lot of growth and transformation that happens in her character.
Well, sure, but I do think what's important about that, though, is it's not a direct remake of Nosferatu. It's
okay.
It's based on Dracula, the novel
Right.
Dracula. So it's kind of reinterpreting the novel, Whereas this is very much like a remake of the 22 Nosferatu. And the same issue, I mean, I watched Nosferatu again days before, and like, I just feel like in the original, she's just like a total one-note character. It's hard to really fault it because it's 1922. This is like 100 years ago. I think there was different standards, but like I feel like now here we are in 2024. Granted, he does give her more to work with. There's like a little bit more depth, but to me, it just felt like she's just a damsel in distress the whole time. She's just like waiting for her man to save her, and I found that like a lot more. It like rubbed me the wrong way more watching it here, because it's like, God, can she like can she be given any character development or like something to work with up in here? Because it was.
Well, I mean, she's just.
Can I?
She's just crying the entire movie.
Well,
Yeah.
let me just say one thing. She's not waiting for her man to save her, by the way. She's trying to save her man.
Well, yeah,
It's very much she's the one in charge here.
she is ultimately the one in charge. You're right, but I guess what I'm saying is like it has a damsel in distress feel because of where she's at mentally and where he's at mentally. Like she is, she's kind of like in this hyper crazed state almost the entire film, and he is like the level-headed one who's like going out and like doing the adventure, you know what I mean? And so there's kind of this element of like he's the active one, she's the passive one. I do understand that in the end she is like the key to it all in a way. And a quite interesting change to the original.
That ending shot is like what like when she's like, no more.
Oh yeah.
That was beautiful.
I liked that. Yeah.
But also,
I want more of that. I wanted more of that.
When I forget who it was that died, and then she's just like, I just can't cry anymore.
Because I have no more tears.
I have no more tears.
I think it was after the two girls and the best friend died.
Good job with it, like what she's given.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought her performance was great. Like that, it's different from her performance because I think her performance was great. In fact, some of my favorite moments in the film have to do with her performance. But it's more just like by the end of the movie, I'm just thinking like, what happened with her? Not much. Like a lot of times that we're checking in with her, it's like kind of the same thing again.
Like, yeah, it really quite reach like a transformation, which maybe would have been nice to see before the moment when he comes to fuck her.
Yeah, and I like that it's like she's making this choice, but it's like, is she really it's kind of the only choice you can make,
I think they also narratively, like, you're making it the choice to not show her actually going through that transformation is to actually make it seem like it could go any way. Because towards the end, you don't know that she actually is going to make that choice to actually sacrifice herself.
I didn't. Well,
And like all of the narrative is like kind of spun around like the fact that you're kind of you don't know what's going on. Like you almost think that Willem Dafoe is like fucking everything up. Like that's what I was getting from it when he started burning the tomb, where at the very end. And he started yelling that shit.
of the henchman guy.
I was like, oh, maybe he's fucking everything. Maybe he's behind it and he's with Nosferatu. I felt that.
Well, he knew
Anybody
that.
who knows this, I knew that wasn't the case.
Well,
I think
he
it was pretty
knew
clear
that she needed to make the choice, and he kind
Right.
of felt that she needed to do it alone. So he was like purposefully removing.
Yeah, he
what's
was
his
trying to
face?
just basically clear the path for her to just hook up with dude and
Oh, yeah.
and
Right, because
sacrifice
if
herself.
Thomas was there,
It felt a little bit more like there was a mystery about around what was happening at that point in the narrative, and so I think that's maybe why they left out her actually making a decision about wanting to actually do
Like
that.
you were thinking that there
Like,
were things that could have
character
happened. I see what you're saying.
Character arc wise, I think that they just chose to follow something else that wasn't focused on her character's transformation into being like, oh, I'm going to make this decision to be this person, right? But and sacrifice herself.
yeah, it's not that. It's almost just like a holistic. Like it's just a problem with the general story to me. Like I just think that it's like I just would have been a little more invested if, like, it's not like there's one little thing that they could have changed. It was kind of like just this overarching thing, and like to remove it, you're right. Like, it would kind of make the whole thing not really work at a certain point. But it's just, it bums me out because it's like, I feel like it would be more interesting if they both were kind of like going through this like entire, like they both had these like stories that were maybe of equal importance. But more or less to me, it just felt like, okay, we cut to her, she's still fucking crazy. And then we cut to him and he's like doing a million, like, you know, he's going to the castle, he's going through the village. Like he's like doing so much. And I just was a little less in... like I just was like getting a little, I don't know.
Bored?
I didn't care that much about like him as a character in certain
When
ways.
you say, wait, him, are you talking about Tommy or Thomas? Or...
Thomas, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, because he's so not that interesting.
Well,
Right.
I mean,
He's like a total doof. But that's the point, I think, about him.
Around him is
He's supposed to seem not like... I think that he's supposed to not seem admirable compared to... Well, but this is the thing, is I think that they didn't really, develop... And maybe you're right, it's because they were just trying to redo the old Nosferatu, but they didn't really develop Dracula's character as a person. You know, he's just a one-dimensional kind of monster in this movie, in my opinion. Whereas what I love about the Francis Ford Coppola one is there's a whole, history behind this person, this being, and sort of why they became this way and who they were before they became that and what that relationship was before, all of this happened. There's a relationship between Dracula and the girl that is actually important,
It's not Dracula.
What? It's not Dracula. No. No, but I mean, it is based on Bram Stoker's Dracula as well. It's as it states in the movie's credits.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
I'm just using the word Dracula because I keep forgetting or Warlock.
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 Just call him Warlock. I like Warlock.
I should just say Warlock.
Yeah,
because that's
Warlock.
what it's supposed to
Off too. It's like a Mandela effect.
be. But the point being is that there is a history between the two of them, obviously, that we need. I feel like we could have been given more of. That would have been
more.
making us more invested,
Another moment that I kind of hinted at this when we were talking without spoilers, but to me, I would have loved more lead up to, and I think there's a perfect opportunity for it too, more lead up to him getting to the castle. Like, I too love when he gets to that little village, and like, you kind of are getting the sense of what the space around Orlok's castle is. And I just feel like it was so blink and you miss it. Like, that scene, it was like, I thought that actually we'd be maybe spending some time there and like learning about Orlok, or like, some more lore behind, like, okay, why is he there? Like, what, or where is he? Like, they were just hinting at it, and then we had to go. It was like, damn, give us a little more. Like, I also think it would have helped. It would have helped so much, but it would have helped like build the tension more to getting to the castle, because I feel like the reveal of Orlok is kind of like, it happens so early in the movie, and I feel like it's a classic case of, at least for me, I always prefer when it's like we hold off on showing the monster or like really showing what it is that is the evil force as long as possible. And I feel like also Eggers has had that similar, we've seen him do that before, like with the witch, where it's like you barely see the witch. It's more just like, what is she doing? Like, how is she affecting things?
Well, I think that they don't. I think he does kind of do that in this movie, because we hear him, we see him in the shadows, but we don't really get to full on see his body and stuff until, fairly deep into the movie.
No, fairly deep, and you start off, and he's like, you don't even know if that actually is the one.
And you can't keep his character out of the movie for that long, because he is a prominent figure in the story of the storyline is that he is actually engaging with Thomas and all that stuff.
Of course.
First scene when they're talking and he's like sitting at the table. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, I love the scene when Thomas is on his way to the castle and he's on that road, and then there's like that coach with horses and stuff. The
that
carriage
was
with
so
the horses
good.
and just the way that they appear, and how that shot of him like on the road, and it just was beautiful, beautiful cinematography.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the film. I thought that was so good. That was like
I loved it.
that was perfect tension build. I was like, this is fucking good. I
Yeah,
love
that's what I was
like the
thinking.
sound design in that space. You know, like with the horses like trampling closer galloping closer, and then like I love that it like turns and like slowly just silently opens for
I
him to
loved
enter.
the camera turn.
It's
Oh my
everything
God,
about it. It was just like that was one of those
Oh,
moments.
and also just the way, I mean, the obvious use of shadows and stuff in this movie are amazing. Like the whole hand shadow over the whole city and like the villages and stuff. That was so cool,
Really
the way
cool.
that he did that. And then the way he kind of like pans over the city and then basically turns it into going around the dude's head and like back into the room. Or I don't, there was just so many cool twists and turns to the camera choreography that were so good. And
Okay, but I'm surprised that you guys aren't on the Bill Skarsgård train.
I'm on the Bill
I
Skarsgård
thought it was
train.
good. I just thought it was I just thought it was a little.
I think that he did a good job. It's not his fault. I think
Yeah.
that
But he
it's what
But he crushed it.
I think he did great. You know, I think,
I
but I
think he
do
crushed
just
it.
think that it would have been
I mean,
better if there was more dynamic arc to the relationships and the emotional
It's more story, I think, right?
ebb and flow.
that's just like original story issues, which
No, it's not. Mm-mm. It's not. It's not original story. It's because in the original story there is an actual relationship there.
Well,
And
I think the
there could
original
be-
Nosferatu, though.
Oh, okay. Original. If we're talking about the Nosferatu 1922, sure. But I mean, it doesn't have to. I don't think that he had to do that because it's also declared that this is based on Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I disagree with both of you about is that you guys think that this movie took itself too seriously.
I never said that. I don't think that.
Was that Anton?
That's Anton all the way.
Okay.
No, I think
The one moment that I wanted to talk about was the moment where Willem Dafoe's performing The Exorcist, the exorcism,
Yeah.
and she's all doing that, and then it just cuts to him in front of a Christmas tree lighting his pipe.
Oh yeah.
Candles on the Christmas tree, and we all fucking burst out in the theater, and the entire Grand Lake Theater all was laughing. Like,
Oh yeah, everybody was laughing in the theater where I was too
yeah,
during that part.
yeah.
That
it
was a beautiful Christmas tree.
I know, it was a beautiful Christmas tree, and I think it was a beautiful moment. It was like a amazing way to just cut the tension, like such a beautiful. And I think that the humor in the movie is kind of my favorite part of it. Like it's scary in the moments that it needs to be, but like it actually feels like it's not taking itself too seriously, which actually feels really refreshing.
yeah. I
There you
mean,
go.
I also thought that it was intentionally funny at many of those times too. Like that obviously is intentionally funny. I think there is a lot of like levity in the film, but I think I think there were things to me that, again, it's like I don't really know how they could have done it better. But it like if we're basing this off of the Nosferatu 1922 film, like there are just some like fundamental things that I think are really silly about this story, like that I think they took seriously. Like, for example, just the very concept of that this is about Dracula wanting to move to the big city and has to like sign some fucking paperwork over it. Like I just think that that's like so funny to me, but I don't think the movie is portraying that as like a funny thing, you know? Like he's straight up signing that paperwork and like I think it's like it's just campy and ridiculous, like what is actually going on here. Like why is what?
That's why I think that they did it right, because they made it into, they did kind of make it a little campy, which felt completely right. There's an exorcism scene, like straight out of The Exorcist.
Right.
I mean, like they're trying to just make it. They made it intentionally a Christmas movie. You know, like they made it into a movie that could be like of the moment and celebrated like as a horror classic. I think they were intentionally just trying to do it like that. They weren't. I mean, and yeah, it's kind of fucked up, the narrative, but they did it justice.
They definitely did it justice. I mean, it is very. I was shocked actually how faithful it was.
Yeah.
I like that there was nods even to, because the silent film still has interstitial titles in it where there is some dialogue happening, but of course it's like pretty minimal overall. Like mostly you're just watching things happen. Every once in a while you get like some dialogue, but I loved like that there were things directly pulled even from the interstitials, like when she gets the flowers and she's like, these are like, why did you kill these, or whatever she says, like these are just dead. Like she basically is like pissed that he like picked the flowers because now their only fate is to die now, and that's like directly from the titles. I thought that I just think it was cool how faithful it was, but it's almost a double-edged sword because by remaining so faithful to the original Nosferatu, it comes with like just the problems of adapting a story that's 100 years old that maybe at that time was like revolutionary, but at this time it's like it's more just like interesting, but it's not like a revelation or anything, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know, because I think that the sex scene at the end, like the sucking the heart, was pretty provocative.
I like the sucking.
Sucking was pretty. That really stuck with me.
The sound design of him gulping down that blood was actually one of the most disturbing things in the whole film to me. I was like, this is like actually pretty fucking nasty. Like gulp, gulp.
Like when he bites it, it's like.
The sound design was really cool for that stuff.
But and then the necrophilia was really cool. So fucking.
I like that line.
The necrophilia was really cool.
Someone's
What
gonna
necrophilia?
clip you on that.
Yeah.
Which
Take that out of
necrophilia?
context.
That homeboy one is.
Do you just mean the ending?
No. What happened?
Oh wait,
He
hold on.
died, and that was at the funeral, and then they went in and they started.
Right. Are you talking about
Wait.
when he goes to his dead wife and he is
Oh,
all
yeah,
up
wait.
in her casket?
Oh, because they have sex?
Classic.
Wait,
I guess I didn't
I
fully
forgot
know if
about
it was
that.
confirmed if they like were, if he was actually like fucking her corpse, or if it was just sort of like that he wanted to like see her.
Well, I think they alluded to some corpse fucking for sure.
Oh, for some reason I don't think I picked up on that.
You
Or
didn't?
I don't know if I like acknowledged that. Maybe.
I kind of just forget. I forget.
I
Yeah.
picked up on it. No, I mean, you don't.
Um,
Who was that actually?
it was her
Yeah, it was-
husband.
oh yeah, that guy.
You know how
That guy actually, that actor was interesting because he was almost not good, but also really good. Like that actor that played the
The friend or whatever.
friend, yeah. He kind of felt a little like, I mean, he was just so fake, kind of, the whole time. But that was kind of his character.
That's what I thought about Tommy.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is the actor that you're talking about, who played Arthur. Oh wait, sorry. Frederick. Frederick is his name in this, but in the novel, his name is Arthur.
Frederick Prinze Jr. Technically.
I think he's
Just
the
kidding.
weakest actor in the movie.
Really? Oh, I don't know.
I thought Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe was great. I actually thought all the acting was pretty great.
Dafoe, always good though.
But I just feel like he was like I liked his campiness. I thought it was like really fun.
I think he kind of carried the heart of the movie.
I mean,
And
he's
I love
good.
that, like, I love the occult, like,
Just elements.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that he's like the authority on the occult. Like, this made so much sense. Willem Dafoe was so good. I hope he gets nominated.
Lily Rose Depp, I also thought, I just want to like shout out another scene too that was one of my favorites where again it was like kind of more of like a quiet moment, I guess, in the overall scheme of things, but one of her latter possession sequences when it's her and Thomas in the room, and I think you already were kind of talking about a little bit about it, Laura, but it's when she like ultimately then they end up having sex, but like she's possessed, and she kind of like crawls over to him and is like, you could never please me like he would. Like that sequence to me was one of my favorites in the whole film. I thought like Lily Rose Depp did a great job, because it starts like where she's not possessed and she's just sort of talking about Count Orlok, like how they kind of met in a way, is in a sort of abstract way. But I just thought the whole like slow change of her like then becoming possessed and then like crawling over to him and then like them fucking and like that whole thing, and her body movements like with like sticking the tongue out and like rolling her eyes back, which was also not like, none of that was CG, which I thought was like really cool. I thought that was like a standout scene, and was one where I felt like very tense. Like I felt myself like really feeling the tension there. So I loved that. I love that sequence.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Just wanted to shout it out.
And I also just thought it looked awesome when we finally see the death of Orlok, and his eyes are like crying blood, and it's all
that was
messed
cool.
up and beast-like.
That ending scene was so good.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about that scene was, I have to say, I didn't like the way they used the music in that whole sequence. Just kind of all epic style and like
I loved it.
Hollywood style. It kind of just felt a little bit too Titanic or something. It felt like the Titanic.
Who did the score?
Huh?
Who did the score?
Who did the score? Right. That's a really good question, and I should know the name.
It's Robin Carolan.
Okay.
Music by Robin Carolan.
Yeah, I mean, I think that overall, I liked this. I liked the music, and I liked,
I liked.
But just that particular part, the way it was like all strings, and it just felt very sort of epic, in a way that was cheesy. I thought, like, it just kind of made it a little bit cheesy.
It was huge for sure. It didn't
but it
bother
didn't feel
me.
cheesy the rest of the time. Like none of the other parts felt cheesy at all. Felt appropriate, but that part was like, oh, come on, like they're trying to make it all emo or something.
You know what's interesting is in the original Nosferatu. Oh, sorry, Graham. What were you saying?
I like the choice of it being like a very romantic moment. It's like that's where you got your romance right there. It's like right at the end.
But it could have been romantic without it trying to be all epic with this music. The music was trying too hard to tell the story. Where it was like, I could see what's going on here. It doesn't have to be so
romantic.
Trying too hard.
I feel like it's tragic.
Well, the tragedy is what's romantic.
Like romance is always tragic,
right? And tragedy is sometimes romantic.
Sure.
But I think that the point was like that tragedy and the romance of it was really it was sort of underplayed, or it was diminished by the fact that there wasn't enough development of that leading up to it. It didn't really give us enough to be invested in their ultimate, like, sort of union, because I don't feel like there's love between them leading up to it,
Well, I mean, he's Dracula.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing about it, is that in other versions of the tale, he's Dracula, and yet he is able to experience love. That's the juxtaposition.
The way that they did well with this one is to make the blend of reality and dream state like kind of seamless, to where you don't know what's going on. And I think that they made this character into a interdimensional being, which is, I think, a cool way to do it.
Sure.
And a more modern way, actually. It's a little bit more modern to be, because we got interdimensional beings coming through with all those fucking UFO.
I wanted to say one major change from the original. In fact, the only one I can really, outside of like expanding, they did a lot of expansion, of course, but a major like story change, which is the only one I can think of, is the ending, actually, because in the original she actually does she lives through their embrace or whatever. Like basically, even though I believe he still does bite her, but he like melts away in the sun in a similar kind of way. But she lives in the end. But I actually think it is better that she dies. Like I liked that change. Because it didn't even make sense in the original. Like it was kind of like, why does she live? Like it almost just felt like they just didn't want like a sadder ending.
Tragic.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was just, they wanted it to be like more simplistic and like a feel good kind of ending, I guess, in a way. But it does make sense that like well, the whole point is that she kind of does have to sacrifice herself to save everybody else. I mean, it's the classic narrative.
Yeah, it's totally the whole point.
But it's just an interesting change, because other than that, like, the story is near identical to the original.
I loved when Willem Dafoe comes in and just like says sorry to to Tommy at the end.
Oh,
Do you remember
wait.
that moment? It was
What
kind of a
is it?
little bit nonchalant, but it was just like a nice.
he's like, sorry about this.
Really? I don't remember that. That's
Like lay down the wreaths, you know.
I don't think I don't
It's a
remember
great
that
Christmas
either.
movie.
all right. Are there any final thoughts that we have before we wrap it up here?
Nah,
Anything else we didn't get to?
Wrap it up.
I mean, my main thing is that I just think like it is campy, and it is fun, and go see it in the theaters because it's hella fun to see it with an audience that like gets the humor, and gets like just seeing a great fucking classic horror film. I think it's like one of the best horror films I've seen. I put it in my top 10.
There you go.
All right.
I also totally recommend. I mean, you know, I still totally recommend people see this movie. Like, I think it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely think it's worth seeing in the theater, even though it was a lot of trouble for me to do that on this trip.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought I was going to be able to watch it. I was going to be able to stream it online, and then when I oh boy,
Who's
who
that?
we got a
Hey,
visitor.
there he is. Hey,
He-
let me see what he got. Let me
He
see what's
loves
up.
he loves
Hey,
to pop in for the finale.
Who is that? Who is that?
What's up, Ethan?
What is that? What do you got?
What is that?
What is it? It's a yo-yo.
Oh, yeah.
Who's on the screen? Who's that?
Hey, who am I?
Graham.
Who's
Nick
that?
Graham.
Dominic.
That's
Grandma
right.
Nick.
That's right.
All right. You want to say hi and then bye?
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
Ethan, what's it for Christmas?
Oh wait.
He
hold on,
can't hear you.
You
Hi.
can say here. You can talk to him now. Go ahead.
What did you get?
Hi.
What'd you get for Christmas?
Yes.
What did you get for Christmas?
Optimus.
Oh, Optimus Prime.
Optimus
Nice.
Prime, amongst other.
Can you show it to me, or?
No.
Well, we should probably wrap it up.
All
I
right,
think
let's wrap it up.
We're at
Yeah,
a 2 hour mark, but
Hey, this was fun, guys. I had a great time.
Thank you so much for joining us and for taking the time to do this.
yeah, thanks for joining, Graham. Graham, where can people find you if they want to see and hear more?
Whiskerman, Spotify, everywhere. Just Whiskerman. Whiskerman. And then come to our show January 31st. We're all doing it together.
Friday, January 31st, Fox Hills Brigade album release. Whisker Man is going to be there, and the band Swiss too at the Independent in San Francisco.
It'll be hella fun.
Tickets
And
are on sale.
Ethan coming? Ethan, are you coming?
No, he will not be coming.
Maybe he'll pop in for the last few minutes like he often does for these episodes.
Doubtful. Get home, hopefully asleep.
Well-
want to say bye bye, Ethan?
Bye-bye.
With that, we're also going to say bye-bye here at Totally Tell Me. So thanks again to Graham Patzner for being our guest today for Nosferatu. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. We will be back in another 2 weeks with a new episode of Totally Tell Me. You can follow us on Instagram to learn what movies we're going to do. And that's going to do it for us. So have a good New Year, everybody. And
Happy New Year.
see you in 2025.
New Year.
Bye.
Bye.
Here, love ya.